Straight ahead on the Valley today, what the Derek Chauvin murder case is doing to the blue wall of silence. Police officers are speaking out against someone in uniform like we have never seen before.
Also ahead, the feds step up in the fight to better coordinate cases of missing or murdered Indigenous people.
Also ahead, double the speed limit and no braking. The LA County Sheriff closes the case on a devastating car crash that nearly killed one of the greatest golfers of all time. But first, President Joe Biden is now taking aim at gun violence in America today and will announce a series of executive actions. A senior administration official says the actions will include regulating homemade guns and federal support for community violence intervention programs.
The White House says these are initial steps to tackle the gun violence public health epidemic. They also include asking the Department of Justice to publish model red flag legislation for states to follow, and directing the DOJ to issue a new report on firearms trafficking. The U.S. Department of Interior plans to create a special unit to help investigate missing and murdered Indigenous people. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland says the new unit will assist Tribal, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and FBI investigators in cases like Olivia Lone Bear of North Dakota.
She went missing from the Fort Berthold Reservation in October of 2017, found dead nearly a year later. The aim of the new unit is to streamline investigations to make the complex process a bit more effective. Some civil rights experts say the Derek Chauvin trial is breaking the so-called blue wall of silence, but they're wondering if it will change policing in the U.S. for the better. A number of officers, including the Minneapolis police chief, have testified over the past several days that Chauvin's tactics the day that George Floyd died, they were wrong.
A use of force expert testified yesterday that Chauvin had his knee and most of his weight on George Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. There was also extensive discussion about Floyd's use of drugs, including whether video of his arrest shows him saying he doesn't do drugs or that he ate too many drugs. And some legal experts say the face mask that Derek Chauvin is required to wear during the trial presents a problem for his defense because it could influence how jurors feel about him.
The mask, it hides his reaction to testimony, including any sympathy or remorse that legal experts say can make a difference to the jurors. Instead, Chauvin's impassive expression at the scene has become an enduring image now throughout the trial.
It's now 8 minutes before 7 o'clock. Still raining as we start off our Thursday morning. Let's get a check of our forecast with Lisa Green.
Well, good morning. Yes, today we're going to start off with gloomy conditions and end the day with some gloomy conditions, but that rain is welcome here in the valley. Here's a look at the latest in Fargo. You can see we've got some water on the camera here and on the road surface as well. Some shiny roads here to start the day today. So keep that in mind. The roads are wet. Even if you're not dealing with the rain coming down, you might have some road spray that you have to contend with on those highways and interstates. And then as we work our way through the day, more rain starts to move in. And anytime we've got that rain falling, our visibility is going to be a little bit lower here today. So we want you to use caution all day long because the potential for rain will be around through much of the day. Though there are some areas getting some breaks right now. Here's a look at the radar in the Northern Valley. I'm focused in there first because we've been waiting for some of that rain to push back into Grand Forks, and we've been seeing that overnight, so finally getting some light rain there. Also stretching up into northwestern parts of Minnesota, the Kitson County, western Marshall County area. Areas of rain that are really diminishing west of the FM metro, and then focusing more now on what's happening east of the metro down into Lakes Country. You can see some spotty showers popping up there, and as we expand the view, more rain south from there. Notice the direction. It's kind of moving its way from southeast to northwest. So that's going to be the direction our rain comes from here again as we head into the day today. Temperatures a little bit above freezing in the north and west, though Devil's Lake is still below where we're drier. And then the rest of us into mainly the 40s and upper 30s. And the wind, still some gusts. We'll see those into the 20s today out of the north or northeast. And here's your bus stop planner. Some showers out there this morning, otherwise kind of drizzly to just mostly cloudy, a gloomy wait out at the bus stop. The kids will want the boots with the ponding and puddles that are out there, and more of that rain adding to it as we head into the afternoon and head home from school. And very little warming today. We're looking at temperatures into the upper 40s. A quick look ahead. Now, if you're missing out on the rain this time around, look what happens into next week. This is Monday morning, and we've got another system threatening here as we head into next week. And look at all that blue. Both of our long-range models indicating that we're looking at the potential for some snow. Good thing is the ground is warm, temperatures are warm, the moisture will be welcome. But that snow might be a little bit of a shock. We'll continue to monitor that for you and keep you updated on that system coming up for next week.
I put the snow boots away.
Yeah, I'm washing my jackets today and putting them away for the season, but I don't
No, I
really
want
think
that
we'll
blue.
need it. It'll probably melt
Yeah.
pretty quick, like Lisa said. Lisa, thank you this morning.
The curious case of the crash that nearly took the life of golf great Tiger Woods back in February is closed with a simple explanation. He was driving too fast. Los Angeles County Sheriff's investigators say he was going close to 90 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone.
They say he hit a tree at 75 miles an hour and then went airborne and never hit the brakes, but that he did not appear impaired at the time of the crash. Woods suffered major injuries to his legs, and it's not known if he'll ever play golf again. Slow your roll, that's the message from the Minnesota safety officials who say too many drivers are now using the highways like a racetrack.
Police are finding more extreme speeders these days. That's people driving more than 100 miles per hour. And some experts say COVID is partly to blame. They say the steady rise in speeding-related deaths is in direct connection to people being used to not having as many cars on the roads throughout the pandemic. Now, the Minnesota State Patrol saw an alarming increase in the number of drivers going 100 miles per hour or more in 2020.
Troopers, they wrote 1,068 citations to drivers in 2020 who were all going more than 100 miles an hour. That's compared to 533 citations for the same thing in 2019. That's a 100% increase. The top speed for a citation, 153 miles per hour. That was written in October of 2020. North Dakota's House has passed legislation aimed at preventing NDSU from funneling federal grant money to Planned Parenthood for sex education in the state.
The original Senate bill effectively held hostage grant dollars to the state's 10 other colleges and universities, unless NDSU ended its partnership with Planned Parenthood. The House amended the bill to pull other schools out of the equation. If passed, the legislation could mean a $2.8 million blow to the Fargo-based research university. School President Dean Brashani has said he won't bow to political pressure. Clay County Public Health is a little worried that fewer people are signing up for COVID vaccines right when case numbers are growing. The challenge is making sure all of the vaccines it receives are used.
The Public Health has received 1,000 Moderna doses just this week. So far, more than 33% of people in Clay County have received one dose. Over 22% have both of their shots. But over 42% of people between the ages of 50 to 64 and 72% of people 65 and older have received their first dose. Public health officials are seeing an uptick, though, in cases this week in people ages 20 to 24.
With active cases, which we kind of had predicted a bit, especially with some of the events going on. We have sporting events, we have spring break, we have gatherings that are occurring, and so we're seeing an uptick in active cases.
Health officials continue to request the 72-hour requirement to administer vaccines be extended. And don't forget, people in North Dakota age 16 and up can now walk in for COVID vaccines. The vaccination center in South Fargo is holding walk-in clinics again today.
Just head on over to the former Gordman's building that's just off of 13th Avenue South in Fargo. They'll be giving out shots starting in about a half hour. It's going until 7 o'clock this evening.
Exoskeletons and animal artifacts. Those are just a few of the fun things that you can touch and get an up-close look at Broadway Square for Nationals. Could be a scare as well at Broadway Square for National Zoo Day this afternoon.
I think it was a scare for Brian Sherrod this morning. He joins us live. Earlier, he had a snake that he was hanging out with. Brian, what friends are you joining us live with this morning?
Well, good morning, Jordan and Lisa. I'm here with 3 beautiful camels right now. They are feeding and, oh, you have a bubble in your mouth. And I'm also here with Sally Jacobson to talk all about the National Zoo Day event that's going on this afternoon. Of course, thanks for being here with me all the morning. Yes. We're in front of just 3 beautiful camels, and I guess talk a little about them.
Yeah, so these are our Bactrian camels. A lot of people ask us at the zoo, we specialize in cold adapted species, so a lot of people will be kind of confused when they see camels here. But these camels are perfectly adapted for weather, just like in North Dakota, from the extreme heat to the extreme cold. So they're a great animal to have here. Of course, they won't be downtown with us today. We'll have some little smaller critters with us. But we will be selling zoo memberships, so it's a great way for us to get out in the community. And if you want to come and see the camels, you can come any day from 10 till 5.
Perfect. So I know that you're standing up pretty tall and you're still blowing air bubbles. Yes. I know we saw a ferret earlier, we saw a snake earlier, we also saw a prairie dog as well. Are there going to be some of the animals that's going to be downtown today?
Yeah, and we're even going to be bringing out one of our adorable porcupines today. And of course, all of our staff will have our veterinarian down there. I will be down there, our educator, and we'll even have some of our junior zookeepers, which are kids from 11 to 15. That'll be be down there talking about the work that we do here at the zoo, both its importance and the fun parts.
Perfect. Of course, thank you again, Sally, for being here with me this morning. And all these details we just mentioned can be found on valleynewslive.com. Jordan, Lisa, back to you.
Always helps brighten my day when I get to see animals on the
watch
Valley
out,
Today.
watch out, Brian, though. I hear they spit, so something to watch out for. Brian Sherrod reporting live this morning. Thank you. We now want to get the answer to our question of the morning. That question, 1 in 9 men did this for the first time during the pandemic.
The answer, read a book. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. Join us right now on the Fargo CW.